Hello everybody, we are going to go over the ULTY trades and holdings for today, which is April 24th. Just a reminder, I am not an investment or financial advisor, and that all I'm doing is gathering data and presenting it to you. And just know that the YieldMax ETF funds are risky, if you didn't already know, and may not be for everyone. These are not growth ETFs, they are income ETFs. Just as you can see here, there are lots of risk here, and you can find the definition of these on their website. We're going to move on to the trades. I'm not going to go too much in depth here, but this shows them closing out the eye point and 100. Yesterday they closed at 4 of the root. Today it's showing 148. Obviously, I have been tracking these since they've been, you know, I don't have the holding screenshot over because this one they've closed out today, but I've been following them all week to see what was going on with them. And yeah, I don't have the last screenshot on this one because we didn't have holdings when I did this earlier. But what I'm going to have to do is go back and make some adjustments because it looks like this data here wasn't accurate on the first day as far as the share count of short calls that they had made. Same thing here with iPoint, like these 1,400 disappeared. And then, of course, we have things that were closed out or things that weren't closed out but disappeared. And so I'm just going to have to go and make some adjustments to the trades or, use previous holdings data to at least close them out with some kind of information. Of course, that's going to make our numbers not exact, but at least they won't just be missing altogether. So I will have to do that. So maybe I should get that done before, I guess, the weekend, or for the weekend video maybe, for the weekly roundup. But anyway, so now out of those two, one's fully closed out, and the other one does at least show on the holdings to be weighted properly, or have the correct, or have shares that match, contracts that match. Whether it's the correct amount of shares or not, or whatever, I don't know. But just to follow up on that, and then we'll go over here. As we can see, ULTY was down 7 cents today. Still 65 million in net assets and the same amount of outstanding shares. Again, disregard the numbers in the green up there for the short calls because that data is not going to be accurate until I can get some adjustments, and it'll be more accurate. But we'll go into CleanSpark here. We have a short call that expires in 2 days on Friday with a strike price of $20. And we are 1% underneath that. And then we have our synthetic position that we are above by 13%. So for those of you that may be new here, just a reminder, for your synthetic strike price, you're wanting the stock to stay above that, but you're wanting it to stay below the short call strike price. So you're really wanting your stock price to be in between that synthetic and short call position. So that's why for this particular one, our difference percentages there are green, because green is good. The stock did end up dropping 5% today because Bitcoin dropped, and you can see it's good because and then you can see the positive 8 cents that the synthetic is having on the overall ULTY stock, due to that synthetic being 13% above the strike price. Now, as far as the short calls go, as we get closer to expiration date, as long as the stock price is underneath the strike price, this will go down. Now, in this case, it's only 2 cents. It could expire worthless. They may pay 1 or 2 cents a share to close it out. We will see, but in this case, it's not significant. And then if we move on to Coinbase here, we have our short call that expires Friday with a strike price of $2.45, and we're currently underneath that by 8%, but our synthetic position that we have, that's 240, we're underneath that by 7% because the stock did drop by 5% today. However, we only have 126 contracts, so it's only bringing the stock price down 4 cents. ULTY stock price down. Then we have Carvana here with the short call that expires Friday with $75 strike, and we're over that by 35 cents. It's not a significant impact, that or the synthetics. We do have the two synthetics, the 65 strike and the 80 strike. We're 16% above the $65 strike, and then 6% below the $80 strike. And these actually are canceling each other out, which is good. So this is new, these being done like this week, and it's well, at least in this case, the end phase one, maybe not so much there because there's not a lot of shares on that second one. But what they did, instead of just keep buying, which they have been doing for the single stock, also, if the stock price is under the synthetic, they just kept buying it, regardless if it was under it or not. Or I say buying, adding to the positions, because we have a call and we have a put there. What they did this week, which is new here, I don't know if they've done it for the single stock. Obviously, I go through the trades every day, but I don't think I've noticed it as much, at least not like they did here this week. And basically, if they were below the synthetic, the current synthetic that was out there, they went ahead and just created the newer synthetic at a lower price. So it looks like it's worked out for this one at least, because these two synthetics cancel each other out money wise. Will they continue to do that? I don't know. Maybe they'll only do that when it's a significant bear market, which, we have been like 6 days to the red. But anyway, I will move on here. We have Enphase again. They reported earnings today. Or was it yesterday? It was last night because it was with Tesla, I believe. But the short call that expires Friday, the strike price of 121. We're underneath that by 11%. And we have our synthetic positions here, 105 strike and 115 strike. We're underneath that 115 by 7%. And as you can see here, the stock dropped 6% today. Overall, this stock's only bringing ULTY down, maybe 3 or 4 cents there. GigaCloud here, we have our short call with a strike price of $40, in which we are currently... I don't know why that's red. Maybe it's because I changed. I don't know. I'm wondering if it's because I changed something after I copied the formulas, but wouldn't make sense. Let's jump over to our original holdings just to see. GigaCloud. Oh yeah, so it's just because I changed it after the fact to short call from synthetic, and it was already red. But here, that 10 should be actually green. I could try to change it here. I just not good with that on here. Maybe that one. Maybe that one. And it didn't change it because it's built into conditional formatting, which I don't think I can do on my iPad. But anyway, it's not negative there, so it should be green. But it's a $40 strike price, and we're clearly under that because the stock price is $35.91, so we're under it by 10%. And then we have our short call with our synthetic with a strike price of $30, and we're above that by 20%, so that's looking good. So that synthetic, well, those two added together is bringing the stock price up 7 cents. Intracellular therapies here, we have a short call with the $80 strike that we're 9% under, and then we have our synthetic positions of $60 strike price, and we're over by 22%. The stock dropped 1% today. Overall, intracellular therapies is bringing the stock price up 11 cents. Janix short call, and I failed to mention this, but these short calls above GigaCloud, intracellular therapies, and Janix here, these don't expire for a couple of weeks now. So our short call with the $50 strike price, we're under it by 4%. And then we have our synthetics that were over by 7%. The stock price dropped by 3% today, and as you can see, these aren't having an effect on the stock price. Lyft has a short call that expires on Friday. Looks like we have a 17.50 strike price, and we're currently underneath that by 17%. But then we're under the synthetic $17 strike by 4%. Overall, this is only bringing the stock price down like 2 cents. And then we have Mind Medicine here with a short call of $10, and we're underneath that by 5%. Sorry, so short call, we're underneath that by 15%. Then we have our synthetics. We're under and over by 6% on those two, and the stock price on Mind Medicine dropped 5% today. Overall, it looks like we have a 0 cent effect on the overall price of ULTY. MicroStrategy short call expires Friday with a strike price of $14.75. We are currently underneath at 4% because the stock did drop 5% today due to Bitcoin going down today. Then we have our synthetics that were under by 6 and 16% with strike prices of $13.50 and $15.00. It's bringing the overall stock price down 10 cents. I just really want to say Cloud. Nano X Imaging short call that expires in a couple of weeks, along with their synthetics. But the short call is a strike price of $10, which we're under by 9%. And then we have our synthetic positions that were above by 21%. The stock price dropped by 2 cents today, and it looks like overall this is bringing the ULTY stock price up by 8 cents a share. Then we have Root here. Like I said, now we're just going based off of the shares or the contracts over here match up. So I'll just go back and adjust because they stated that they had purchased 486 short call contracts. And then they had also had synthetic positions. And then I think they closed one of them out. One disappeared. And then the short call contracts weren't the same as on the trade. So I'm just going to have to adjust this stuff the best that I can on the trades, all trades tab, to give us our overall number. Okay, sorry, I was looking over here. I don't know why some of these color codes have gotten off here. I don't know. I think it's a Google Sheets thing because this happens more often than you think. But yeah, it's red over here. I apologize. I tried to click pause before I coughed, and then I missed it. Alright, so Root here. Our short call is $60, and our current stock price is $60.02. So that 0 should be red because we're over the strike price by 2 cents. For our synthetics here, I'm going to have to start manually moving these around, I guess, because this looks weird. But our short call there in the middle, that should be, like I said, a red 0%. Then we have our synthetics, the one above it and below it, $50 and $70 strike prices there. We are above one of those by 20%, and then we are below the other by 14%. And then it looks like, so this one doesn't, all of these, including the short call, don't expire until a couple of weeks out. So for our synthetic over there, yeah, we're negative 7% by being that far underneath it. For a short call, we're also, and I might have said percent, I mean cents. For the short call, we're also negative 7 cents, but that's because it's got a couple of weeks. And then if we look at Sunrun here, it looks like overall it's not having any impact on the stock price. But We have a short call that expires Friday with the $11 strike price, and we're currently 9% underneath that. The stock price did go down 2% today, and we are 2 cents over the synthetic strike price. For C, we have a short call that expires Friday with a $62 strike price. We are currently over that strike price by 2%, or $1.27. The stock did come up 2%. And then we have our synthetic position, though we're over by 27%. Therefore, the synthetic position on the right, you can see it's a positive 17 cents a share for ULTY. So overall, for C, we're looking at a positive 15 cents for ULTY share price. And then if we go to SMCI here, I believe, I don't know if when their earnings were or if they've happened yet, but I know they had a bad day a few days ago. It might have been last week, but they have a short call that expires Friday with a strike price of $7.75, which we're currently underneath by 3%. The stock did drop 1% today. But then we have three synthetic positions, $700, $880, and $1,000 strike prices. And we're currently one of them above 8%. The other two are below 14 and 25%. Therefore, synthetic positions are bringing the stock price down by 15 cents, so overall negative 16 cents a share for ULTY. Symbotic, we have a short call that expires Friday with a strike price of $42.50, which we are under 5%. The stock price looks like there was no real change today. And then for our synthetic positions there, we are 8% above the stock price. So overall, Symbotic is bringing up the share price roughly 4 or 5 cents there. And then if we look at Transmedics short call, strike price $95, which we're we're underneath by 6%. And then our synthetics were above by 5%. Overall, we're about negative 2 cents a share. But our short call and our synthetics, they don't expire for a couple of weeks. And then we have Viking Therapeutics here, short call that expires Friday with a $71 strike price. We are 8% below that strike price. The stock, no real change today. And then our synthetic positions were under the strike price of $55. We're over by 18%, and they were under the $75 strike price by 13%. Overall, this is bringing the stock down by 7 cents. Vertiv Holdings here, we have a short call of that expires Friday with the strike price at $84. We are currently over that strike price by 57 cents because the stock did come up 7% today. We are 9% above our synthetic positions, and overall a positive 5 cents a share for ULTY. Wayfair has a short call that expires Friday with a $58 strike price. We are currently 9% below that strike price, but Wayfair did drop by 8% today. And then if we look at our synthetic positions, we have a $50 strike and then a 60, and we are above the 50 by 6%, but below the 60 by 12%. So currently have an effect on the stock price of negative 5 cents. And then Wolfspeed, short call that expires Friday with a strike price of $27. We're underneath that by 9%. The stock price did come up 8% today. And then our synthetic position, we're underneath that $25 strike price by 2%. But this is only like a negative 1 cent of the overall share price of ULTY. So that's pretty much it as far as the shares and trades there. You can see the IVs and all that stuff in the daily roundup if you watch that. And then the one thing I didn't do in the daily roundup was look at this. So let's pull this up. ULTY intraday trades, and we'll do this to make it go sideways here. So we can see, sorry, I feel like I got to sneeze if my record button's not there. Oh, I don't know. All right, so let's see. Well, you can see end phase was starting to go up, and then it went way down. High point dropped throughout the entire day. It looks like a lot of these actually dropped, and I guess that's where I missed. I just remember the opening with Tesla and it going up in the morning at least. And then I guess I didn't pay a lot of attention to the rest of the day until the after hours. But yeah, it does look like we just mainly went down throughout the day. We see a few here that did a few different things. But anyway, and then for those of you, if you wanted to see over here on the left hand side, you can see it this direction too. I know we can usually view this a little better when we do it the other way in the daily trades, but I didn't have it set up today. I forgot to do it during the video. But and after hours, I noticed this too, and I was looking at this a while ago. It looks like ULTY actually had gotten down to 1454, and I guess because of Meta bringing everything down, I'm not really sure there. Maybe somebody just wanted to sell something really low. But anyway, I will let y'all go. I'm gonna do the single stock stuff. I actually was gonna go to bed early, and then the holdings actually came out early. So I figured I'd go ahead and knock these out because getting up in the morning is harder for me, especially with not a lot of sleep during the week, staying up doing these videos. So if I can get them knocked out at night, I do, because they may or may not happen in the morning if I wait until then. But anyway, I appreciate you, all of you that watch and support me, and y'all have a great day tomorrow. Bye.